Hello and welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is part 18 in Clive Barker's HELLRAISER, a series which he wrote for Boom Studios back in 2011, and one which I am narrating or dramatising for you here on the channel 3 times a week, released Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. You will find part 1 linked down below if you've missed any of them, if your notifications aren't turned on or so on and so forth, or if you're just simply new here. These are also in their own playlists, so please do check it out and get caught up. But that being said, let's dive right into it. Where I come from, you don't give up, even if you're dead in the water. And just where is that? Arlington? Langley? New York? Hell's proverbial kitchen. I'm not with an agency, more like a private. I'm a detective for the dead. Oh, Jesus. Think what you like. I was warned, told, actually exactly what would happen up to this point, and absolutely everything has been accurate. And you contacted NORAD directly. I've helped certain people on occasion and have credibility with those that count. Of course, a little proof always helps. And look, I don't want you to endanger your ship or your crew, but if we have any chance of survival, and I mean any, I need to board that thing. Without knowing the tactical benefit to fleet and country, our orders would be to return to shore. But then again, comms are down. How did you convince your pal at NORAD? Long story. Not every agency protects the living, Commander. The more you know about this stuff, the stranger it gets. I gave him the name of someone that may be able to help. Washington responded with a specialist. They're tracking her down now. We're back on the ship with Harry Damour. He turns off the light, flicks on a lighter, and the female Cenobite appears before them. Now, Harry, you must hurry! And now we're in a strange, darkened room with what looks like Elliot Spencer. Chains whip at his skin. His flesh becomes entangled by them. The hooks dig deeper, and they tear at his very fibre. Strung up, and he speaks. I seek liberation. Show me how I suffer. Give it to me. I demand knowledge of it. And there he sits. How sure he is of his talent to consume pain. He looks not strong enough to recover from these teeth. Indeed not. He is a fragile mass when pierced by my stinger. Time will make him my slave, for I shall make a meal of his glibness. But Elliot Spencer responds, I will show you all. There is no love nor empathy that resides in me. Produce my agony. Leviathan is showing this to Kirsty Cotton. He went on like this for quite some time. It wasn't until something special happened that he changed his mind. And what was that? He met me. I needed to know his limits. The mind is like a computer, corrupted only by illogical thought. Here, at last, was a specimen that seemed both deeply touched and incapable of alteration. The perfect germ. Tell me your secrets. The only thing I've ever feared is the corruption of my own flesh by my own hand. But I know now that is impossible. We see torture as Leviathan stomps on Pinhead's shoulder. I knew then that we were in for some fun. I don't think you're using that word correctly, Kirsty responds. He came to me with the knowledge of exactly what to offer. I allowed him the freedom to offer it. Will you prove yourself to me? Leviathan steps in closely to Elliot Spencer, blood dripping from the chains. If you truly are master here, then bring her to me. I will do as you ask. And how far will you go, I wonder? And then the realization sets in. My God, you created him. I did. He was an exceptional mind, a primal thing, true, but also evolved and transcendent. When a being overrides their own instinct in pursuit of rational self-annihilation, it is a rare gift indeed. Imagine where you would be, Kirsty Cotton, before the weight and influence of the world left its mark upon you. Where would you be, and would you have had it any other way? Is it not suffering that leads to perfection? We see a woman and a child. Alan. Brooklyn, New York, 9:30 a.m. Emma. I was just on my way to the diner. Would you mind taking Emma, and I'll meet you there in, say, 40 minutes? I have to run up to Fort Greene and peek in on my mother. I'm getting kind of worried. I'd love to. We need the change in atmosphere. It's been a tense morning. I think Mommy likes you. Is that so? Thanks, Alan. I'll meet you at the diner in 40. The end of the world is looking up. The Colonel is not responding. Would you like his voicemail? Can we try another relay? This landline is going through a satellite switch. What about the intercom system? You know where this call is coming from, right? Stand by. The man sits there looking at his phone, and the time beeps on. Come the fuck on. Specialist Norton. I'm glad you got through. This is Colonel Matthew Brenner. We have an Eagle bound for RAF Lakenheath, leaving Langley at 1000 hours. From there, you will continue to the extraction point with the target and await further instructions. Was Mr. Damore able to connect you to Priscilla Spencer? Affirmative. The London Brain Centre, daughter of Daniel and Elliot Spencer, patient since 1962, currently receiving care for cerebral palsy. No living relatives. You have 8 hours, Norton. Establish contact by then, or your mission will be considered a failure. If you don't personally hear from me in 7 hours, put this in the internal mail. Norton says to his secretary. Oh, and it will be dusted for prints, so be careful. As he walks out the door. And just as before, Pinhead stands there, atop of the world, looking down, gazing. And at NORAD, we see a satellite image of this demonic force. We've lost contact with the Aurora flyby, sir. Stealth bomber entering Indian airspace now. Uplink with Japanese deep space satellite providing a live video. Heaven's reply is less than 1 minute. Heaven help us, before we turn whatever's left into hell. And Pinhead raises his hands, and an inferno erupts. We're back with Kirsty Cotton and Leviathan, aboard what looks like a train. Where are we going now? As I said, Spencer came with an offering. I honestly don't know how you've survived this long. Her? What? What is that? Kirsty Cotton looks at the woman next to her and what she's reading. A pamphlet. Please Your Master. A complete course in sexual identity. Learn from the mad genius of pain control. How to be yourself with absolute confidence. Class requires an open and eager personality. But the woman gets up and quickly leaves. Wait! I think we know that woman. No! Come back! I know this place. You do indeed. Spencer, he's... Holy shit. And we're back. Kirsty Cotton is in her Hell Priestess garb. He's a monster. A revelation has blasted through Kirsty's mind. What has she learned? What do we now know of Elliot Spencer? We're in Brooklyn. That's just ice cream wrapped in a homemade fruit roll-up. Ever have mochi? What's mochi? Mochi. A Japanese dessert like green tea, ice cream, inside a sweet rice cookie. I had no idea you were so good with kids, B. Food makes everyone Santa Claus. That's why I'm the chef. And you're right, by the way. What's that? You're thinking there's no way you were as cool as her when you were a kid. And she's making you think how awesome it would be if you could be like her as an adult. Free, innocent, loving. You know? All the things that adults constantly find excuses not to be. We're all arseholes for forgetting the choice to not be an arsehole. Earmuffs! As the end of the world draws nearer, people are running about their everyday lives as if nothing was happening. And in NORAD, they're connecting to a server. Comms are up. Raise Commander Hayes aboard the USS Sentry, Colonel. Yes, sir. Officer, initiate contact with USS Sentry on a secure channel. Tell me what you saw. Leviathan says to Kirsty. The dream was real. Well, a real manifestation of his fears. Elliot had a fear of being a predator to his child, so he left for the army. His wife was already his victim, but he didn't care about that. And then he found one of LeMartian's devices. But unlike many of his victims, he knew what it would do. He knew about you. Keep going. So you made a deal with him. You'd feed him the one pleasure he would not allow himself in exchange for what? I really want to help, but you're asking the wrong questions. And it's very important for you to get this right. Get what right? The evil bastard ruined my fucking life. He killed my father. And what if I told you your father never existed? Would you then see the bond of love that you have with this man? You will follow him anywhere. So consumed are you that you haven't even realized where you are. How can I show you these things, Kirsty Cotton? I'm inside your head. In my head? Oh, Christ. I can give you as much time as it takes for us to launch a mermaid drone with a pre-programmed nuclear deployment. With satellite communication being unreliable, we can't take the chance that we will lose control. Configuration will take approximately 30 regulation minutes. If we take the rescue craft, we can make a round trip in that amount of time. Just a sec. Are you experienced in boarding craft, high-speed maneuvers and emergency situations? Yeah, alright, fair enough. Captain, permission granted, but I'd like to put some distance between us and those rads. You have 30 minutes to get back to the Sentry. And there we see Kirsty Cotton screaming into the infinite black of the labyrinth. No! As Leviathan has latched onto her skull, just as it did with Dr. Chenard. Time's up, Harry. It's now or never. The female Cenobite looks on.